So what are the 5 things that I think artists really need to get into for the year 2021? These things are not just limited to platforms or tools or anything like that. I want to give you things that I'm getting into, that I'm exploring, that I'm trying to do a deep dive into to help me expand as an artist and as a creative. So let's get into it. But before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you're notified whenever I do videos like this. So let's get to it. So number 1 is the Clubhouse app. The Clubhouse app is basically a chat app. So why am I telling artists and creatives to get on a chat app? This app has been exploding over the course of a year. Early 2020 was when it was made, and it's been growing ever since. It's invite only, so at this current moment, you have to have an invite to get on. But since I've been on in October of 2020, I have been really making some great connections with people all over the world. So when you go on the app, it's like you're sort of encountering a ton of different chat rooms from across the world that you can make and other people can make about any topic, every topic. It can be serious topics, it can not be serious topics, but you're sort of just scrolling through, just seeing what topics sort of relate to you that you want to get into. And it's easy just to jump into a conversation with someone that you don't know. So that's why I really like this app, because you're able to actually have a conversation about anything and everything. But I've been finding that there's a huge art community in this app, so I'm able to sort of connect with a ton of people and just network and get my artwork out there and discover other artists from around the world. I actually received an invitation to be a part of a group show in Atlanta at ABV Gallery, run by Greg Mike, which is a very famous gallery in Atlanta. So I just did that through Clubhouse, just connecting with people. So the Clubhouse app is so great when it comes to just learning about sort of different things in the art world, different trends that are coming, that it actually led me to my second thing that I think artists really need to get into, and that is crypto art. So what is crypto art? I'm still learning about it. Like I said, I heard it on Clubhouse. I heard a lot of dealers and people who work in museums and sort of people that work in the the Bitcoin cryptocurrency space talk about it. So I knew this is something that is going to be a lot bigger. I'm learning that it's basically a way of tokenizing are making a unique sort of mark for digital art. And any artist can sort of get into the space. Basically, it's a wild, wild west in terms of how you sort of digitize your work to be in that space. But basically, it was a solution for a lot of digital artists that will have their work ripped off or not seen as sort of as prestigious, because you're able to easily duplicate, a sort of digital piece of art online, or a virtual world online, or all these different little things online, because it's basically just code. So they're able to sort of figure out how to tokenize it, make it unique, give it a sort of a unique signature, so you can tell exactly who owns that piece of artwork. So if you're making a digital piece of art, you're able to tokenize it and sell it, and then that person's able to sell it and sell it and sell it. And because it runs on the blockchain, people are able to know exactly the lineage of that digital piece of art. So they're able to see who bought it first, who sold it last, everything in between. So that helps out when it comes to creating a sort of a new market in the digital art space. Not only that, they're trying to figure out how to make sure that when you're selling digital art, that the original creator, the artist, gets a piece of that, a royalty in the secondary market. So it's something that I think is really, really new to the space, and I think a lot of artists, like I said, I've been listening on Clubhouse, are really getting into. I've heard to be the largest platforms to actually explore and figure out how the crypto sort of art space sort of works is Nifty Gateway, Rareables, and Super Rare. You're able to put your work up there and actually sell it, and you're able to buy crypto art as well. So I actually signed up for a couple of these and just figuring things out, because it runs, like I said, on the blockchain. So you're using cryptocurrency, and I think the currency to use is Ethereum. So really getting knowledgeable about that space is something I think a lot of artists really need to do, mainly because I said I hear a lot of talk about it, and it's growing and growing and growing. Not only that, there's an artist named Beeple. If you don't know Beeple, basically this is one of the most famous digital artists. He's been actually making artwork every day, one a day, for 13 years. He recently signed up for Nifty Gateway and actually did his first drop of a lot of his work that he's been sort of doing over the past 13 years and made over $3.5 million just on that. And like I said, because he gets a cut of the royalties in the secondary market, that is just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. So I will have links to this story and the different platforms and sort of other YouTube videos about crypto art. Like I said, I'm new to that space. I'm just trying to figure it out myself, but I think this is a space where a lot of artists really need to get into just to figure out how to navigate it themselves, so that when it gets bigger and it's growing, you're able to easily figure out, your space in there. And like I said before, you don't need to be a digital artist to sort of get into the space. Really, it's just figuring out how you sort of fit your work, your practice into that digital art space to sort of be a part of that arts community. And number 3 is Procreate, the raster graphic design app. So Procreate is something that you can basically use on iPhone and the iPad, and basically it has sort of changed the way I sort of do my process, do my production. I'm not a graphic designer by trade. I don't really study a lot of graphic design, but I really have been getting into Procreate since getting a new iPad early 2020 and just using that for some of my work and just exploring it. And basically I've done a ton of design work on there. Not only that, I use it a lot for murals. I'm able to just use it on my phone and basically change up different elements on the fly. It is that powerful that you're able to actually create and do mock-ups and design, whether you're just a graphic designer or a fashion designer or an engineer. You're able to sort of sketch out different designs really easy. There's a ton of tutorials, which is what I really like about it, is that the community that surrounds Procreate, that has basically built an ecosystem around Procreate, is really informative. There's a ton of YouTube videos, there's a ton of just resources to just expand within that app and sort of creating what you really want to from that app, that I think every sort of creator, every creative, every artist, every designer needs to really just dive into Procreate and see how they can sort of include it into their practice. Procreate is also just $9.99 and there's no subscription. Basically, once you pay that $9.99 or $10, you just have it for life on your different iPhone and iPads. So that's why I really like it and I recommend it for all creatives. And number 4 is Behance, the portfolio website. It is owned by Adobe. So if you ever use Photoshop or Adobe Premiere or Lightroom or Illustrator, everything that you create with some of those programs, you're able to put on this portfolio website. I like it mainly because it's highly curated and it's all about the quality of work that you're putting up. It's not like a social media website where you're just posting one image or 2 images or a video. It's like you're able to really curate and sort of tell the story behind a project. So each post, you're able to post multiple pictures, text, videos, and really curate and sort of tell that story behind the project, from ideation stage to you actually putting your hands on the actual sort of tools and building it to the finished product. And I like it mainly because it's, like I said, the quality of the work on there is fantastic. So when you're scrolling around and sort of discovering other artists from around the world, you're able to see exactly the best of each individual. It's not only sort of painters and graphic designers, but it's UX designers, it's creative directors, it's videographers, it's photographers. So it's everyone that is creative in some way. A lot of agencies and companies and brands and creative directors really look through Behance to find artists and creatives that they can work with. That's why the quality is so high, because they know that they can get their next job on Behance. A couple of my projects actually came from Behance. So I've been sort of slowly adding more and more to my Behance profile and trying to, like I said, put my best foot forward by putting all the quality projects I've been working on Behance. And number 5 is TikTok, I know TikTok is something that everyone already knows, but I think it's a platform that is so large, that is so huge, that has great algorithms from what I have seen, that is something to look into, especially because it's really, really hard to get seen and noticed on Instagram and Twitter and all these other platforms. But I hear that it's really easy to get something sort of discovered on TikTok. So I think, you have to understand that there's a lot of, new fans and new collectors and curators that will be the people moving and shaking tomorrow that are on TikTok today. They're not on some of these other platforms. So you have to realize that this big platform can be a space where you can get, new eyeballs on your work, new opportunities, and have people know about you, gain that awareness. So TikTok is something that I think a lot of artists really need to look into. I know there's a lot of artists really growing into their own and making, some crazy videos that, put a lot of eyeballs on their work and themselves and sort of funnel that to their website and other places. So I think TikTok can be a real resource in 2021 for artists and creatives. So definitely that is one of the things that I think a lot of artists need to get into. So hopefully you like the list that I was giving out and you explore some of these different things like crypto art and Clubhouse the app, because I think a lot of these things are going to be really, really big in 2021. So I will have links in the description for some of these different items like the crypto art, because there's a ton of platforms. I don't know everything, but I want to sort of give you the resources so that you can do your own research, and a link to the Clubhouse app, because I think that is a really great app that artists really need to get into to sort of, grow the community and connect with other communities as well. So if you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it, and hit that bell notification so that you're notified whenever I do videos like this, and I will see you next time. Peace.